Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Sunday, the 19th of March. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, folks, this is it. Officially last vid for approximately 10 days. So, after this video, the next guaranteed video will be Tuesday, the 28th of March, for selections for the 29th of March. So, just as a recap, because I can say this as many videos as I want, and I know someone will very kindly come along and say, where are you? Are you okay? Are there any tips? I'm taking a tactical break. Cheltenham just does you in, to be honest. So it just the amount of effort and energy and late nights and everything else, and so when you get to the end and you haven't quite made any money, it's absolutely draining. So it wasn't like it was completely terrible or a write-off or out like that, but it is just draining. And then off the back of it, statistically not going well on the actual videos and stuff, it's just it is a bit tiring. So I think I will well do a break, and this week is a good week to have a break away from the horses, because no all weather, and I like a bit of the all weather, as you know, and it's jumps and it's changeable weather. It's sort of flip flopping in between good and heavy depending on where the rain is. So it's not the best week. So just to be clear as well, I have got a bet for Sunday. So I have got a bet for Sunday. It's £5, and I think it's 1:30. Chepstow might be the first race. It was just a £5 bet for Sunday. But anyway, as I was saying, it's not the best week. So the plan is I will definitely be back on a video on Tuesday, March 28th. So like 10 days odd time. There's no freebets.com video until 2 weeks time anyway, on the 1st of April. And then there's possibilities, I think, next Saturday, because of the Maidan meeting and the meeting at the Curragh, I might do a quick vid for selection. So I might do a kind of short format, as I would say. So I won't necessarily have my laptop and my Sharpies and stuff. That will be a sort of quick format one. Whether or not I'll find a post-it note or whether I just stick it in the comments and do one, I don't know. But there's definitely a chance next Saturday I'll pop up and do some sort of vid for a one day only for next week. In between times, I will write in the comment thread each day on the back of this video to say feel free to put your selections in, as I often do. So that will be in there. If I find anything in the meantime, the general rule of thumb is if it's a bit meh, I won't put anything in. I'll just write the comment thread header. If I like a couple, I'll put a couple in there, and maybe even find your 4 horses that I might be back in. So anything I put in there, I am back in. Only if I'm like, oh, there's a couple of absolute zingers there, will I kind of record an impromptu video. So the best way to keep track of it is make sure you've subscribed to the channel, because then you get an alert if I do a video. Otherwise, you take your chances, you can watch out for next Saturday if I'm doing a vid on here, and then otherwise it will be the Tuesday the 28th. Press the subscribe button is the best way to find, because then you get an alert if I do pop up. But I'll only pop up if I think it's particularly good. So like them days when I'm like, oh, there's 125 and a 66 to 1 shot in hindsight, where I'm like, maybe you should have done a video on that day. So we will see how we get on. And timely as well, because I've reached the end of this notepad. This was an excellent purchase from Wilco, a couple of quid, but basically I was able to do double sides. So whereas previously I'd only been able to do one side of the A4, it's actually decent quality paper, so it's quite cheap from Wilco, but I could double side it. So environmentally speaking, it was better, and cost wise, it was actually more efficient. So I've actually literally for Sunday's bet, I've got the very last empty page of that. So I've got 10 days to find myself a new notepad. That's how it's going to work. So it's been a slog generally this year. It has been a slog. And yeah, I mean, certainly for my own personal profit loss, I'm kind of behind where I was last year, certainly. And obviously from the channel stats point of view, we're behind, and that's the kind of the big barometer. And yeah, there's other bits I've done, and I've shoved in the comments. There's anti-post things there and whatever, and the free bets is actually going really, really well on just those videos. But yeah, it just niggles at me, the channel stats, because statistically on the channel we are in the worst period of time since I started. So the best win we've had this year is £52. There were 22 winning days last year that were more than £52. And this time last year we had 3 winning days so far in the year that were more than £52. They tend to come in little clumps sometimes. But yeah, if we had three winning days of £52, pretty much, we'd be back to even. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's a bit of fun, and I'm completely, bowled over by the amount of people that just seem to like listening to me witter on about stuff. And the whole point is that I'm trying to share other bits and bobs. It's not all about the wins and the losses and the profit and loss. But yeah, I would love to get a decent win, even if it doesn't get us back to profit right now. But it's just been absolutely lacking of getting something clicking on the channel. We've only had a few weeks that have been actually really bad, and just the luck has not been with us. That being said, on Saturday, I'll go through the results now. We did get a winning bet. I mean, we deserve a lot more, I think, but I would say it was even mixed luck. So Saturday was 10 on, £30.66 back for the channel. We had the Win Trixie, which I would say unlucky. The first horse got collared on the line. The second horse unseated when coming into contention. And the third horse got done near close home. So 2 seconds and an unseat. It was a bit unlucky, I think. So nothing back there. That wasn't unlucky. That just weren't very good. But she parked. There was something that went funny. It pulled up, but the other 3 were all 6th. So that's not 4th, which is what we needed. We were looking for 4th place, and they're all 6th. So yes, in terms of placings, not a million miles away, but yeah, that's them. And then the bet free that got us over the line, and I would say we got a bit of luck in some regards there. I think both winners there, Major Dundee and Autonomous Cloud, which are actually my second preferences, both of them, I come into the last, I thought I'm going to get done here. Major Dundee, I thought Tile Tapper looked like it was going to get it, but it dug in and got over. And then the last one, Autonomous Cloud, it survived the steward's inquiry because there was a bit of shoving and barging, and the rider did inadvertently crack the whip on the other horse's face, which is not something you want to see, and it wasn't deliberate, but yeah, very pleased to get it over. So for the channel, we had it as 11s and 17 to 2, SP 12s and 15 to 2. So I'm imagining most people would have beaten the channel, because I think most people would have been able to get 12s on Major Dundee. And Autonomous Cloud, it was more than that with a lot of bookmakers after I uploaded it, but you could still get 10s in places. So I'm hoping most people did a bit better than the channel. But yeah, I mean, we trebled our money, so can't complain. Best day of the week. So that was that. So it leaves us still just short a 10-day stake behind. So we are 10 days stake statistically behind. That's what we need to make up for the week. We've got a £5 bet. We need to get five times that back. So I think we need 25 quid to come up ahead for the week. Otherwise, it will be yet another losing week, statistically speaking. So Sunday's bets. What have we got? It's not a big one. Hopefully, it's a good one. This is it. So, and I've made it a little bit more complicated because it's only one bet. Then I can push the stake around in the way that I'd prefer it to be. So we've got 130 Chepstow Tazar Mix. That's probably the best race of the day from a value perspective. You've got a really, really short odds on favourite. Tazar Mix is the solid second favourite, and then it's sticking a pin in the others is how I looked at it. And I was like, you could argue a case for few of them at twice, 3 times the odds than that, and I'd rather just go for the one that I think something should have to go wrong with that in order for it not to finish in the first 3. So gone for the safe option, Tazar Mix in the 130. And then we're trying to luck with 4 others. So in the 315, I was split. Teresita, I think, is definitely the more likely to do something, and I think that will go single figures for Sunday. Then Sweet Magic, you can get it 33s on 365, so much better price for 365 tonight. So I'm not sure. I can see that one drifting, to be fair, but I'm still happy to take 22s, I think, given its chances. And then 425 Old Boy Iron Horse 16s. Doesn't run very often, but if it runs to form like it did last time, it should absolutely outrun 16 to 1. And then finishing off in a Hunter Chase at Carlisle, Late Romantic. I think just market's probably slightly overlooked it. Again, should be single figures. And Sky have got the benefit of paying 4 on that one. So standard terms all round on that one. Most bookies are 4 on this, I think. Sky are 5 here. So that's one where Sky's advantageous. Most bookies are 4, and Sky are the only ones that are 4 there. So outside of Sky, it's basically anyone paying bog. So if you're doing it tonight, 365 or Coral. By the time I come back on the vids, I think 365 will have stopped doing bog the night before. If you're doing this on Sunday after bog's kicked in, so your paddies or your Ladbrokes should be fine. So the way I've done the stake, nothing on singles. So if we get a 22 to 1 winner and we haven't put 25p on it, then yeah, we haven't got the £5 back. So this is the way I've done it. If you want to go the ultra safe route, you could literally put 50p each way singles on the 5 of them. You're more likely to get a return. You're less likely to get a significant sum of money. That's the safer way of doing it. So these would all be fine for a 50p each way if you want to do a simple way. What I've done for the channel is on all 5 horses in the bet slip, 15p each way trebles and 10p each way fourfolds. And then just with the bottom 4, so not with SAR mix, I've done 25p each way doubles on the bottom 4. So yeah, nothing on singles, and I didn't want to put that in the doubles at 11 to 2. I looked around and I was like, I could do it as split Yankees and stuff and 2 10p each way Yankees, but this way I've got slightly more money rolling onto the doubles of the horses that have got better value. So yeah, on balance, that's the way I decided to do the bet. So it's £5 bet. That is it. All right. Let's hope we can finish with a nice one. But it's a £5 speculative opportunity. So yeah, I think that's all I was going to say tonight. But other than just thanks for the ongoing support. Like it's just the thing is, it started off with this thing way back when of putting out tips and I was very clear on what I wanted to do, and with statistics and everything being transparent, I wanted to always be able to give you more statistics than you'd find on any other channel, because I keep all the data, because without data you don't know where you're at. And that's why I know I can go back and go, right, yeah, from the 27th of December we've gone on an absolute cruddy run. Like that's when it started. I think it was 28th actually. 27th was a good day, 28th was a bad day. So from the 28th of December, that's sort of us on it's knocking on it. Well, unless we've got something genius in that bet for Sunday, that'll be 3 months by the time I come back. 3 months of a long, hard slog. So that's not a lot of fun. But yeah, I wanted to be honest and transparent, and I'll always remain to be, because there are so many, as I said before, so many sharks in the sea, and people fudging figures here, there, and everywhere, and coming up, giving the big one. I don't want people to blindly follow what I do, and that's why I give explanations. That's why I don't write all my bets in the comments and stuff, because I don't want people popping on and just, oh, there's a bet, I'll take that. I want people to hear me talk and explain stuff, because I just think that's important, and I'm never going to talk up massively on a horse where I don't think it needs talking up. And yeah, there's plenty of places out there if you want to, hear people crowing on about the wins and stuff, and to be honest, it's amusing to me more than it is irritating. The only irritating thing is around knowing that people are getting mugged off ultimately, that with people that sort of just bend the truth and focus on the positives and stuff. But then more of it's amusing, because it's like some of the stuff that people can come out with, and like 6 months apart, and they're still quoting the same figures of how many winners they've had and what prices they've had or whatever, or the varying ways of when it goes bad, what they might put in the description or not, or just to make it look a little bit better. I find it fascinating, to be honest. But there are some good, honest channels out there, and most of you regular folk will kind of know where to go. And I'm a massive fan of keeping it profit and loss. That is the key to me. And there's a couple of channels out there who keep a good profit and loss that slightly different way of recording, but a very fair way. And the point is long term. That is what it's about. It's all the long term. In the long term, are you up or down? So you could have a losing few months. You could lose at Cheltenham, but long term, are you winning? And that is what it's about. And anybody following, you don't take my word for it. Keep your own data. Follow what I'm doing. See if you can beat my figures. See if you're worse off than my figures. I don't mind. I'm not here with a massive ego to tell you, look how good I am. Because clearly, even if I had a bad ego, it'd be pretty bruised the last few months, wouldn't it? But I'm just trying to do things the right way, and it's frustrating when it doesn't go well because I'm trying to help people, and when I can't help people because it's going wrong, that really frustrates me. But I'm just very fortunate that I've managed to collect over the kind of 14 months of doing this a lovely group of folk who come along and are very, very supportive. And that's really, really nice. And yes, there's the odd funny person. Somebody the other day, I don't know if it was a typo. I was like, I deleted the comment because I was like, I don't know if it's a typo or not, but I think they inadvertently, I'd like to believe it was inadvertent, called me a blight. I was like, that's possibly, if that was true, that was one of the worst things anyone's ever said, that I'm a blight on YouTube. I don't know, on the world, I'm not really quite sure. I'd like to believe they were calling me bright and it was a typo on spell check, but I was like, just going to go on the fair side of that one. I'll delete the comment. But yeah, I was like, wow, man, really, like that's if that's a serious comment, that's very low, calling me a blight. That's probably the worst thing anyone's ever said to me if it was true. Calling me a fool, that's different. That's low league. Calling me a blight, that's terrible. Anyway, right, that's me, Rabbit. I'm milking it because it's the last video for ages, and so I want you to get your money's worth for all the expense that it costs you to pay to subscribe to the channel. It's expensive stuff. Oh, actually, I will tell you, I've got an update, which I'll kind of go through next time. But the back of house team behind Flat Cap Callum, so Mrs. FC, as I think the channel has phrased her, and she's quite happy with being called Mrs. FC. She's basically created me a website. But I was like, because I'm aware that on this channel, I'm not very easily contactable if people want to kind of contact me privately, so she's created me a website. It is a million times better than I'd ever do. I was like, brilliant. So so when I come back, I'll launch the website. Just to be 100% clear, there's no Patreon service on the website. That it is suggesting the things that I could do that I'd happily take money for, because I'm a man of skills. Don't just do horse tipping. But yeah, there's things on there that I'm happily get paid for. But there's no tips. There won't be any tips on the website. There won't be any paid tipping service on there. There never will, ever will be that at all. But yeah, it was mainly just there to have contact details, and then she's made it all look a bit jazzy and flash. It's not really in keeping with the channel, but yeah, I was very pleased. I think she's done an excellent job at putting that together. But yeah, it will have I can't remember info at, I think is my website email address. So I'm getting in the big leagues now, folks. If you ITV, if you are watching, I am still available to do Value Corner. That is the ultimate goal here. That I think you just need a regular guy to come on and do Value Corner for you and actually tell you the truth about the betting market, and when things are getting backed in, what it actually does mean and whatnot, rather than skating over sometimes, like when something's come in from 50 to 1, it's now 2 to 1 and you've not mentioned it. So yeah, Value Corner, that's what I'm looking for. So ITV, if you're watching, I'm available. I don't charge a lot. I will charge more than I charge for YouTube, but yeah, feel free to contact me through my new Jazzy Flash website. It's got to serve a purpose. I've paid a year for the domain name, so yeah, that's it. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I'll be back officially in 10 days. In the comments every day, might not be saying very much, but in there every day, and possibly Saturday, if you're really lucky and I find something good. All right, that is me signing off before my break. See you on the other side. Bye bye.